gotten recommendation for placement in Asia. And at the same time, my husband and I were thinking of relocating to Canada or to Norway. Then I met Prophet during that time, and he said my dominion is in Africa, so I shouldn't focus on going outside Africa. So I lost focus with the other plans, and I decided to focus on being in Africa. But also in 2017, during fellowship, Prophet called me out and he said, a fresh appointment comes after this thing. I never knew what thing he meant, and he said, you're going to get a sign 3 weeks from now. And surely, as he said, 3 weeks then, after that, I got a dream where I was being swapped on a new role. But I didn't get it, I didn't understand it. I kept thinking it was in the same workplace, because in this dream I was seeing the same people I was working with, and a national director giving me a new role. But he said a fresh appointment, a fresh work comes after this thing. So as it turns out, the thing was my contract. That after the contract ended, a fresh appointment, a new workplace came up. 21st of April, my contract ends. But I was very peaceful about it, because I knew my father was praying, and I was convinced, and I knew that I'm his special project, so everything I want is covered. People are asking me to play politics and beg ABCDE for an extension, but I said no, it's not my portion. I know my father has me covered. So I went home, and I remember during that time when I was home, my terminal benefits from my former employer came through, and I purposed. We actually purposed with my husband to sow them, because we wanted total dependence on God. We knew something was coming. So in as much as not working and everything else, we decided to bring this money as a seed to God during that time. And we continued being at home. So an advert comes through, I apply for a job. I was still enjoying my time at home, resting and all. They called me for an interview. The first interview was very easy. It looked like I was the perfect fit. Every question they asked, I knew an answer to. Then they called me for the second interview. Before I went in for the second interview, I met Prophet again, and he released me for this job. So after I met him, I felt the urge to read certain things. So I started reading things about leadership. The interview was supposed to be over the phone, because I was being interviewed by their US team. So I felt the urge to read things about leadership, types of leadership and all. These are things I'd never read. So I get to the interview, and it's the exact same things they're asking. Of course, I took them for a ride on what it means. You'd think I've been a leader for over 10 years. And they were very impressed. I asked them questions. They were very impressed and excited, The interview actually went on longer than it was supposed to be, because I was asking all these questions and they were answering with a lot of enthusiasm. So the interview ends and I go home. 2 days later, they tell me that I got the job, but they're going to do reference checks. As they're doing reference checks and their background things, they bump into someone from my former workplace, and the person tries to mess up everything. I actually heard about it, but I was unbothered, because I said, if this is mine, just as it was for David, it will come. And then whatever they had from that person, they decided to go verify. The person they went to verify to is a close friend of mine, but also an HR practitioner. So she cleared the record. It's like as if God brought about a connection where they would go to that particular person to try and find out if the information they got was right. Fast forward, I got the job. I remember getting the offer one morning. I was still asleep, and they called. And they sent the offer in my email. When I read through it, I started shaking, because it was too good to be true. The salary was way beyond what I asked for in the interview. Actually, in the interview, when they asked how much would you like, I gave them a figure, because I'd estimated my former salary and added a few points and said this should be fine. They didn't even twitch at it, but I was like, it's okay, maybe they want to negotiate later, because I even thought that was too much. When the offer came, it had a way bigger salary, way bigger than I anticipated. And then I read through the benefits. The benefits were amazing. It looked like everything is double what I was getting. To this day, I'm still being amazed. I've been at that job for 3 weeks, but every single day, I find a new benefit. I get to discover something new, and it's exciting. But a few of those benefits are, in addition to the big salary, actually the salary now I'm in 8 figures and all, but in addition to that, I have a phone. I was given a BlackBerry phone. It's a brand I've never even bothered to like. Actually, that phone has airtime of up to 150,000 to use every month. And in addition to that, I have about 12,000 MBs to use every month. Meanwhile, they told me if that is not enough, you let them know, so they increase. If I work in Kampala, this job I'll mostly be in Western Uganda, but every single day I work in Kampala, which has to be at least 1 week. I get a meals allowance, just for meals, of about 200,000 Uganda shillings every single day. Meanwhile, I'm sleeping at my home, I'm eating at my home, but every single day you get a meals allowance. And in a month, I have to be in Kampala for at least 1 week. So that means in a week you make 1 million shillings just for food. If I travel anywhere outside Uganda, I am paid per diem based on US government rates. For example, I was reading, if I go to Kenya, I get about $339 every day as per diem. If I go to Dubai, it's about $550 every single day. And on top of this, when you settle in the first 2 weeks, they put in a hotel for those 2 weeks. They give you meals, a meals allowance of over 1 million shillings just for food to help you settle and relocate in the new workplace. It's amazing, it's glorious. I have about $2,500 every year to study anything of my choice. I just have to decide what I want to study, and there's $2,500 for me. There's gratuity, there is 13th check, there's so many benefits. Everything is double what I was getting. I have medical insurance, even for my parents and grandparents, you know, bits of that. It's double. If I want to buy glasses, I can get a set of 600,000 on the insurance. I don't even pay a single cent. Everything is doubled, and it's exciting. So I give glory, honor, and praise to the God of my father, Prophet Ernest Namara, and I honor my father, and I love my father, Prophet Ernest Namara.